and welcome to Heathered Knits. I am your host, Heather, and I am so glad that you are taking time out of your schedule to spend time with me today. Today is Saturday, June 12th, and I want to welcome those of you who are joining for the first time. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here. I hope that you enjoy this little chat, and I hope to see you again. For those of you who are coming back, welcome back. I am glad that you, again, are taking time to spend with me. So as I said, I'm your host, Heather. I live here in my apartment in mid-Michigan with my two children, Abby, who's 15, and Philip, who is 12. So this is mainly a knitting podcast with some bits of my life that get thrown into the mix, but I try to start with the knitting, so if that's really what you are most interested in, you can watch that and then move on, and you don't have to, listen to the rest of what is going on for me personally. But if you are interested in sticking around for that, by all means, you are welcome to do so. I am continuing to struggle with my knitting energy. I really have needed to engage in some other things that are occupying my brain a little bit more than just knitting does. But I am still knitting. I'm knitting more like while I'm doing other things. So that's why a lot of my projects lately have been pretty bland and monotonous and not necessarily like super detailed and involved, because that's just been where my head and my brain space is at. So I don't have any finished objects to show you today, but I do have two works in progress. I have a half-finished object, so there is that. So I have the vanilla socks that I have been working on, and I do have one of those finished. So this is the first finished vanilla sock that I have. This sock is going to be a gift, so it's larger than what I typically knit. The yarn is from Molly of a Homespun House. It's her overdose awareness colorway that her sister Amy died, I guess it's been a couple of years ago, when she was still here in the US. She dyed this colorway for that, and so that's the colorway that I'm using. I am using contrasting colors for the heels, cuffs, and toes. And this is a colorway that I actually dyed myself, but I don't remember how I dyed it. So I don't think I could pull it off again. I kind of sort of remember, but I couldn't reproduce it very accurately, which is too bad because I really like the color. And then I am actually almost done with the second one. I have just a couple more rounds until I do the toe, and then this second one will be complete. So hopefully by the next time I record, I will have a finished object in a pair of vanilla socks. Hopefully. That's the plan, right? We'll see how that goes. The other project that I am currently working on is called Nymphadelia. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'll probably put it on the screen because I can't pronounce it. The idea is that it's supposed to kind of look like a butterfly wing. So I'm knitting it with gradient yarn from Knit Picks, Stroll gradient in the See You Later colorway. That's what's left. And then the contrasting color is Stroll Glimmer Frost. And this is how she is looking. If I can untangle yarn. The color is starting to shift now. When I showed you this last time, I was right here. So then this is my progress since. So we have shifted colors a little bit. I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends up being once it's all done. It really is a pretty simple knit. It's a free pattern from the Knitty magazine if you are curious. I will link the pattern down below. So if you are curious in seeing what that pattern is, you are free to go check that out and knit it for yourself. This is actually something that had been in my queue for a very long time. And oh, it looks like I screwed up right here. Oops. Oh well. So this is actually something that had been in my queue for a very long time, and I just finally decided to sit down and knit it, and I'm probably halfway done. I think I'm about halfway done with it. It hasn't been getting as much attention as my vanilla socks, because my vanilla socks are a lot easier to work on when I'm doing other things, or like when I'm waiting to pick up the kids from school or something like that. So they're easier to just pick up and go with. That's really it as far as my knitting is concerned. I will probably cast on another pair of socks after I finish those vanilla socks, and then just keep working on that one. I know I just really have not been producing a lot knitting wise, and I think that's okay, because I think we go through various seasons with our making, and right now the season that I'm in with knitting is just, it's not meeting the need that I need met at the moment, if that makes sense. So that's really it for my knitting. I do have one other creative endeavor that I think I will show you. It has nothing to do with knitting. I've been trying to journal a bit more, mainly because I need to kind of get some of the thoughts that are in my head out onto paper, and I've been using that as a more creative way to kind of express myself than just knitting used to be. I'm not a super creative person by nature, but still there are times where I do need to get that creative energy out, and so I have been doing some journaling. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what that has looked like here. I need to go grab it, so I will be right back. So this is the journal that I've been using for art journaling, for lack of a better word. It's just a moleskin journal that you can get from like anywhere. You can order it off of Amazon. I know Barnes and Noble carries them. I think Staples carries them. So these are available in a lot of places. It's just like a black faux leather, and it's pretty like thick, because I put various things in here that I want to like hold on to, or that are causing reflection. So it's kind of bursting at the seams, really. So like if I take this off, it's like really full of things. Like for example, I've put in cards that I've received from people that I want to just hang on to. And like I said, I'm not a super creative person. So sometimes, it's really just simple, basic layouts that I'm doing, things like this, just using washi tape and maybe a couple of stickers to like write down my thoughts. One thing that I have been trying to do is do like reflections too on different scripture I've read. So like right here, I've done a little bit of a reflection on some scripture that I read that jumped out at me. That's kind of like my go-to. If I'm not sure what exactly I want to write, I try to reflect on some scripture. And sometimes there's just not a lot. Like there's just not a lot that's happening. But I try to do this and just get my thoughts out. Like I said, I'm not very creative, so these are really just very basic, simplistic things. I did find a sticker person on Etsy called Sticker My Journal that does really cool, like I've been getting monthly kits for her stickers. So like for example, like you can do like goals and tasks and then like have trackers and stuff like that. So that's what I've been doing. This has been one way to kind of get things out of my head onto paper and be a little bit creative in the process. And it's been, oh, that's stuck together. It's been like meeting needs for me. And sometimes they're really emotional, like this one that I did when we had to put Flint down, which I still miss him. Flint was our Rhodesian Ridgeback, and he was such a special dog and such a major part of our family, and before we moved, we had to put him down because he would develop this massive tumor on his chest, and it was restricting his airway, and it just wasn't going to be good to move him. And breathing was getting a lot more labored and more difficult for him, so we had to put him down. So that was hard. I think, though, that as far as creative stuff, that's really all that I have. It's not a ton, but if you want to stick around and I'll give you a little bit of a life update, I will do that. If you're not interested in that, that's fine. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you'll come back and check this out again sometime. So life, right? Life has been not the easiest for me lately. I will say with the kids, they have 1 week left of school. Friday, June 18th will be their last day. They were doing some restructuring and some construction, so they'd given them a long summer in 2020. I don't know how much of that actually got utilized, with 2020 being 2020, but they extended their summer, so it's going later this year, which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. There's not a lot we can do about it. So their last day of school is Friday, although I think technically it'll be Thursday because Friday's been like an online day, and I don't know that they're going to do anything on Friday. I don't know. So Thursday is probably really their last day. So that'll be good for them. Then we go into the crazy summer schedule, which is chaotic and everything. Abby is going to be a junior next year, which I'm like, oh my gosh, how did that even happen? Which is a really important year for students in the United States. It's like when they're thinking about colleges and taking their college prep stuff. And so it's an important year for her. So next year is going to be really involved with a lot of that stuff. We are still looking to purchase a home. I'm still waiting to hear from the bank. I've got to really get on them because my apartment complex, we only signed a 6-month lease, and they want to know 2 months before the lease ends if we're renewing the lease. So that's coming up like really quickly. So I need to hear from the mortgage person to find out what is going on. It's been 4 weeks since I gave him all of my paperwork. So I would think that soon, in the next week or so, I should be hearing something. I would like to know so I know what to tell my apartment complex. So that's causing me a little bit of stress because, knowing where you're going to live is kind of there's some stability and some comfort in that's kind of like up in the air right now. But, I trust that God is at work in all of this, and I trust that we'll get through this and we will figure this out. Not necessarily that it's going to be okay, because sometimes it's not, but I do trust that this will all come together in the way that it needs to come together, basically. So I'm only worrying about what I can worry about, because otherwise it's just wasted energy. Like, why worry about something that's beyond my control? So, but I will be kind of poking at the bank more to be like, hey, what's going on here? Because I know that I am a woman, and women tend to get dismissed a lot more often. And so if I need to be obnoxious, then I'm going to start to be obnoxious, because this is important. And I'd really like us to have a permanent place that works a lot better for us. This is fine, but there are some things about the apartment that make my life more difficult. It's a second floor apartment that's really hard for me physically to go up and down the stairs. There's just some things with it that it would be easier if we could have like our own space that is ours and we get to hang on to. So that's kind of simmering out there, and something will come together. It'll come together. I know it'll come together. If we have to stay here a little bit longer to finish getting things together with a bank, so be it. But it'll come together. I don't have doubt about that, if that makes sense. I did get my second dose of the COVID vaccine last weekend, and that did also make me very sick. So I was pretty miserable for a couple of days from both doses, but I feel, as back to normal as I ever can be right now. So that's good. Abby also got her first dose, which is a big deal. Abby has a major needle phobia. So she had so much anxiety around getting her vaccine. She knew it was really important, but she has such a major needle phobia that it was rough. They had a clinic at their high school, and so we went to that, And she was very close to passing out from not seeing the needle, but just from the idea of the needle. But she made it. We got through it. I treated her with a smoothie from Tropical Smoothie afterwards. That was her reward for getting through it. So she did. She got through it, and she'll get her second dose on the 25th. And then Philip isn't old enough yet to be vaccinated, but as soon as he is able to, he will be. So I'm feeling like the end of the pandemic is in sight, and that's really reassuring and positive, and like there's some hope in that. I hope that you guys are feeling that too, that there's some hope and a light at the end of this tunnel, and it's been a long tunnel for sure. Not sure what else. Summer is probably not going to be the most exciting. I just physically am not able to do a lot. It takes a lot out of me just to like drive a little ways to do something. We probably will be spending time. My aunt has a pool, and they're about a half hour away now, so we'll probably be spending some time there over the summer as a way to kind of get out of the house and to do something that the kids enjoy, that I enjoy. But it is also something that I know will be physically taxing on me as well. But I think the mental health aspects of it will be better. It has been really hot here in Michigan, but with the turn in weather and things starting to get better, I am trying to get out. Well, I'm getting outside every day and at least sitting on the balcony that we have, but I'm really trying to like get out and be in the sun a little bit, sunscreen on, because there's the sunshine just makes me feel overall like better, right? I think it makes everybody feel better. And while it's a chore to get out to sit into the sun because I'm on the second floor, because I have to like take a chair out, that sort of thing, I think that it's going to be worth it for the effect that it has on me. I'll have to nap afterwards, but I have to nap every day anyway, so I'll just adjust my nap to be after I've been out in the sun a little bit. And like I said, I think just overall the mental impact that that's going to have is going to outweigh the physical taxingness that doing it entails, I guess. Okay. I think I've just gone into the point of where I am just rambling now, so I'm going to stop. I actually got this out 2 weeks after my last one, so that's good. So maybe we're going to fall into a better rhythm now. Hopefully, that would be great. And I will keep you guys posted with things with like moving and like finding a permanent place to live and all of that stuff in the weeks to come. Hopefully the next time I talk to you, I will know something and maybe we'll be house hunting, which that's what I would like to see happen, is house hunting the next time I talk to you. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, please hit the thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. You can feel free to leave a comment. And I will talk to you again soon. In the meantime, happy knitting!